You're riding down a neighborhood road, everything looks clear, and then your front tire hits what looks like a harmless patch of green on the pavement. In a split second, your bike loses traction. It feels like you just rode over ice, and there's nothing between you and the asphalt. I'm Richard Jaffe. I handle personal injury cases here in New York, and I've represented riders who went down because someone blew grass clippings into the street and treated it like it was no big deal. In this video, I'm going to explain why grass clippings are so dangerous for motorcycles, who can be held responsible when a crash happens, and what you should do to protect yourself both on the road and legally if you're ever put in that position. Because on a motorcycle, you don't get a warning before you lose traction, and what looks minor to a homeowner can turn into a catastrophic injury for you. The first thing I want you to picture is this. You're upright, you're fine, and then the bike suddenly feels like it's on ice. That's how a lot of these crashes happen. Not because the rider was reckless, because the road surface changed in one blink. And with this kind of crash, the stakes get big fast. Broken wrists, collarbones, road rash that turns into infections, head injuries, even with a helmet, and months out of work. I've seen grass clippings lead to surgeries. So let's get practical and talk about what matters if this happens to you in New York. Here's what we're covering: who can be responsible, what you should do right away, and how motorcycle claims work differently in New York. Why this stuff is so dangerous on a motorcycle: grass clippings aren't like a soda cup you can just roll over. On two wheels, traction is everything, and grass clippings can act like a thin layer of grease, especially when they're fresh, wet, packed down by car tires. Add any of these and it gets worse. A curve or a turn, braking, painted lines or metal plates near the clippings, shade from the trees even that keeps the road damp, night riding where you don't see the change in surface. A car can hit that patch and barely notice, but a motorcycle hits and it loses grip instantly. Then it's not a small pill. It's you sliding, maybe into another lane, maybe into a curb, maybe into traffic. Who could be at fault in New York? Well, in New York, most of these cases come down to a simple idea. Someone made the road unsafe, or someone knew it was unsafe and they didn't fix it. Here are the main suspects we look at. Number one, the homeowner or property owner. If someone cut their lawn and blew or dumped clippings into the street, that could be negligence. People love to say, oh, it's just grass. But if it creates a slick hazard for drivers, especially motorcycles, that's the problem. Number two, a landscaping company. A lot of the time, it's not the homeowner. It's a landscaping crew that left a line of clippings right where the tires travel. Companies have insurance, and companies also keep schedules, invoices, and employee time logs, things that can prove that they were there. Number three, a town, city, or road authority. If the grass clipping sat there long enough that the city should have known and cleaned it, or if it's a repeat issue on a known roadway, we look at municipal responsibility. This gets tricky in New York because there are special rules and deadlines when you're making a claim against a city or town. Number four, another driver. Sometimes a rider hits clippings, goes down, and then a car hits the rider or bike, or a driver follows too close and has no time to react. That can become a separate claim. And one important New York law point in plain English: New York State has rules against leaving debris or spilled material on the roadway. It's not meant to be a gotcha. It's meant to keep roads safe. Grass clippings can count as roadway debris when they create a hazard. The fastest way these cases get blamed on the rider, let me tell you how this usually goes down when there's no proof. The rider says, I hit something slick. And the other side says, oh, you were speeding, or oh, you overbraked, or you took the wrong turn, or you were careless. If there's no photo, no witnesses, no report, and the clippings are gone the next morning, they'll act like it never existed. And then you're stuck arguing about your riding instead of the hazard. This is also where New York's rule hurts people who wait. New York follows pure comparative fault. That means if you're partly at fault, you could still recover money, but your compensation can be reduced by your share of the blame. So if the insurance company can pin 50% on you, they will. If they can pin 80% on you, they'll try. The evidence you gather early can be the difference between a strong case and a case that gets lowballed. What to do right after the crash so you don't lose the case. If you can do this safely without making injuries worse, here's the simple checklist I want you to follow. Number one, call 911 and make sure it's in the police report. Don't leave without a report if you can help it. And when you speak, be clear and specific. There were grass clippings on the road. My tires lost traction when I hit them. They were in the travel lane or in the turn. That language matters because later the report may be the only neutral proof the hazard actually existed. Number two, take photos and videos before the clippings get moved. Get close-up shots and wide shots. show things like the patch itself, the roadway and the curve or intersection, and any skid marks or scrape marks, your bike position, nearby houses, landscaping signs or trucks, the weather and the lighting. If you can, do a slow video walk through and narrate what you're seeing. Number 3, look for the why. This part is huge. Try to capture a house with fresh cut lines of the lawn, a landscaping trailer nearby, a yard waste pile, a crew working up the block, even a security camera on a house facing the street. If you can't solve it right there, you're creating leads we can't chase. Number 4, get witness names and numbers. If someone says, yeah, that happens all the time, or I saw the landscapers blow it into the road, get their contact info. That one person can stop the case from turning into rider error. Number 5, don't write it off. Medically, if you're hurt, get checked out. And if you have road rash, don't treat it like a badge of honor. Infections are real. Scars are permanent. And insurance companies love to argue you weren't really hurt if you waited 2 weeks to see a doctor. New York motorcycle claims are different, and most riders don't know this. This is one of the most important things I tell motorcycle clients in New York. Motorcycles are not covered by New York's no-fault system the way cars are. In a typical car crash in New York, no-fault insurance pays basic medical bills and some lost wages regardless of fault, up to certain limits, about $50,000. But motorcyclists are generally excluded from no-fault. That means after a motorcycle crash, riders often face immediate medical bills, time out of work, pressure to settle early, confusion about what insurance applies. So where does your coverage come from? Your own health insurance may be the first line for treatment. There may be MedPay coverage depending upon your policy setup, but the at-fault party's liability insurance can be pursued. If another vehicle is involved and they're uninsured or underinsured, your uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage may matter a lot. That's also called or UIM coverage, and that may matter a lot. This is why early legal guidance matters more in a motorcycle case than almost any other type of crash. Waiting can cost you coverage options, evidence, and leverage. How we prove a grass clippings case instead of guessing. If you hire my office for a case like this, the goal is simple. Turn I slipped on something to here's who caused it, here's how we know how, and here's the harm it did. Here are the common proof tools. Scene investigation. We go back quickly. Sometimes the clippings are still visible along the curb line or in the gutter, even after traffic moves most of it. Records and scheduling. If a landscaping company is involved, we look for work orders, routes, invoices, and who was assigned to that block that day. Video doorbell cameras, security cameras, traffic cams, even a nearby business camera can catch the landscaping work or show the patch on the road before the crash. Witnesses. This is a big one. Neighbors often know exactly who services which house. They may even complain about the same issue. Your gear and the bike. Damage patterns matter. Helmet scrapes, jacket tears, and bike scuffs can back up your story about how the slide happened and how hard the impact was. And if a city or town might be involved, we also look at the deadlines and notice rules. Claims against municipalities in New York can have very short time windows compared to a regular injury case. Some of them are as short as 90 days. And if you miss them, you can lose the right to bring the claim to begin with. What this can be worth and what insurers try to do. These cases can involve real money because the injuries are often really serious. A fair claim may include medical bills, which include past medical bills and future medical bills, lost income, and the reduced ability to work in the future. Things like pain and suffering, scarring, and long-term skin damage, surgery, rehab, and therapy, the damage to your bike and gear. What do insurers do in response? They usually try to do things like push the blame onto the rider, downplay the danger of the clippings, say you should have seen it, argue that your injuries are from something else, offer quick money before the full medical picture is clear. My advice is simple. Don't let a fast settlement steal your future, especially when you're still healing and you don't yet know if you'll need surgery, injections, or months of rehab. What you should take away from this video. If you remember nothing else, remember this. First, grass clippings can be a serious roadway hazard for motorcycles. Number 2, in New York, fault can fall on a homeowner, a landscaping company, a municipality, or even another driver. Number 3, these cases are won or lost on early proof. Photos, videos, witnesses, and the police report. Number 4, motorcycle claims in New York are different because no fault usually doesn't protect the rider. Number 5, the sooner you get guidance, the more options you usually have. If you were hurt in a motorcycle crash like this in New York and you're not sure what to do next, reach out to my office. Even a short call can help you avoid the common mistakes that wreck good cases. And don't stop here. Your next must-watch is Motorcycle Tip: How to Deal with Tailgaters. Because tailgaters turn a bad moment into a deadly one, and if you handle it the wrong way after a close call or a crash, you can accidentally hand the insurance company an excuse to blame you. Click that video now and see you over there.